This is the Larry O'Brien Trophy. On day one of the NBA playoffs, 8 of 16 NBA teams clashed to begin the race for the ultimate prize. But to get to the top of the mountain, each of these teams had to figure out strategies to beat the first rivals standing in their way to basketball immortality.
There's 16 teams in the postseason, and there's 15 teams trying to take what we have.
This was the attitude the defending champs came into Game 1 with, and their opponent, the Lakers, came into the game reliving their recurring nightmare of how to contain Jokic. The Sixers had the dilemma of how to match the Knicks' physicality, and New York found themselves in a conundrum of how to guard the giant that is Embiid. The Cavs had intentionally lost the last game of the season in order to be matched up with the Magic, but would that backfire? And the Wolves, who had lost 3 straight times to Phoenix's three-headed monster, had to solve the puzzle of the Suns' pull-up shooting. Chapter 1. The first frame. The Magic encountered their first hurdle early on, the Cavaliers' deadly three-point shooting. Right out of the gate, the Cavs were on fire, sinking their first 5 triples.
Here's Mitchell, awfully late in the shot clock, and 9-1-1 three dropped straight through.
To solve this, they started hugging up on the Cavs like long-lost relatives at a family reunion. But this strategy was not so magical. By focusing too much on the perimeter, they basically rolled out the red carpet to the basket.
Looking for a dime here, and he gets one. Timeout, Orlando.
The Magic were struggling to find their rhythm on offense, but at least they found some solace at the free throw line, which kept them in the game. By the end of the first quarter, the Cavs were up 33-26. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, the Suns came into the game locked and loaded, double-teaming Ant from the jump.
The lane, and again, dribbling into a crowd, and then he fouls.
And on the other end, the Wolves had another set of problems to deal with, since KD was out there unleashing his insane pull-up mid-range game. Towns was supposed to be the gatekeeper, but KD was ruthlessly taking him to school, teaching him a lesson in scoring efficiency.
Goes to the mid-range.
He's got to keep going. He has the hot hands.
But Anthony Edwards slowly began figuring out the Suns' defense.
Booker snakes the screen, got blocked by McDaniels. Gobert chased it down and kept it in play.
Oh, look out here, Knight got advantage.
Edwards clean for 3, butter.
Due to the Suns' lack of size, Gobert was causing all sorts of problems in the paint.
Oh, the double, nice feed! Gobert, the flush!
However, the Suns' offensive arsenal was too much for him and the Wolves to handle. With Towns struggling to contain KD, in came Slow-Mo, but he wasn't much help in slowing down Durant. O'Neal answered and ended the quarter with an insane buzzer beater.
Brings up his second 3-ball. He cashes out at the buzzer.
In the first frame, the Wolves were expecting a 3-headed monster, but the only dragon they found was KD, who led his team to a 1-point lead after the first quarter. But over in the Big Apple, Embiid wasted no time making his presence felt, dropping the first 9 points for the Sixers.
I wonder if that's something they'll try to exploit.
Embiid banks it home.
The hoop and the harm. Joel will head to the line.
Now, desperate times call for desperate measures. So the Knicks decided to double-team Embiid, thinking they could contain the beast. But that plan backfired.
Chenzo, here comes the double team. Finds Maxey. Shot clock at 6. Maxey. Cross court. Tough pass gets to the Harris, who hits a 3.
Maxey's speed proved to be another headache, even with the defensive maestro OG trying to lock him down.
Maxey sees an opening, gets inside. The quickness for Maxey.
And with Brunson having a slow start, going 1 for 6 to kick off the game, the Knicks found themselves in a 10-point avalanche midway through the first quarter. But they responded with grit and determination, cutting the 10-point lead down to just 3.
Off the window, no. Hartenstein, jam with 2 hands.
Before long, Embiid's sheer power started to become an added problem for them. So they changed their strategy and started going at him to try to tire him out.
It's blocked by Embiid, but a foul. A couple of times Knicks going right at Embiid, or trying to.
But JoJo wasn't about to back down, ending the first quarter with a whopping 15 points, leading the Sixers to a 9-point lead after the first frame. Over in Denver, Jokic came out decked out in his signature black and gray ensemble, looking like he was about to recruit some minions. But he wasn't messing around. bound. He was on a mission. Now, the Lakers started the game with one game plan and one game plan only. Attack Jamal Murray like he's the last slice of pizza at a basketball-themed pizza party. With Jokic proving to be an obstacle early on, the Lakers threw double teams at him anytime he touched the ball. But you can't contain the Joker that easily. And speaking of parties, LeBron James was throwing one heck of a dime party out there.
Oh, what a pass to Prince.
Don't notice how great of a pass that is. Not an easy pass to hit him right in stride.
The Lakers' offense was sizzling. They were also playing defense like their lives depended on it. LeBron was relentless, bulldozing his way through defenders. And when all else failed for the Nuggets, they resorted to the classic strategy, hack a LeBron.
Found Dinwiddie quickly ahead. James goes at Jackson and wraps him up, and LeBron fouled. Didn't like the way that Reggie Jackson dragged him down, but gets right up and goes to the foul line to shoot two.
And just like that, the Lakers found themselves up 8 points by the end of the first frame. Chapter 2, the second frame. When the second quarter started, both the Magic and the Cavs hit the court like bulls charging at a red cape. The physicality reached level 9,000.
Leading up to this series, we knew about the importance of being physical. This is why JB's hot, because Niang got shoved by Wagner.
And the Magic weren't ducking any smoke either. Despite the Magic's best efforts, those Cavs big men were still chowing down in the paint.
Such good offense. Allen again. Strong to the bucket. Timeout, Magic.
However, the Magic couldn't catch a break. They were struggling to cook up some offense, so they resorted to isolation offense. And instead of a gourmet meal, they served up a plate of iso ball with a side of inefficiency. Remember those free throws that were keeping them in the game in the first quarter? Yeah, well now they weren't going down any longer. And just when the Magic thought it couldn't get any worse, the Cavs pulled out the big guns. Zone defense. The result? Brick after brick after brick. By the end of the second quarter, the Cavs' 7-point lead had ballooned to 11.
Mobley, another mismatch. They're taking advantage every time.
In Minnesota, the Suns had two problems to solve. 1, how to derail the freight train that is Anthony Edwards. 2, how to get offense from anyone not named Kevin Durant. Luckily for them, Beal, who was nowhere to be found, finally decided to join the party.
And neither is Bradley Beal with the and one. Beal working out his right leg a little bit, landed hard, of course.
Alexander Walker came off the bench like a human torch, lighting up the scoreboard.
Alexander Walker lining up for three, bottoms.
19-6 bench point advantage for Minnesota.
Edwards gave him a thumbs up, and he was good beyond the arc.
But all wasn't smooth. Booker and McDaniels got into a little tiff, but McDaniels had zero fear. The Suns were hunting Towns on defense, so he decided to return the favor.
Towns, bucket, and the foul.
Beautiful job by Karl Anthony Towns. This is a whole different vibe in this game than any game during the season against Phoenix.
The Wolves' defense was on point, shutting down the Suns at every turn. And their offense was also firing on all cylinders with Ant, showcasing his athleticism before Towns cleaned up the mess.
Edmond went airborne, with the finish.
As expected, the Wolves led 14-0 in second chance points, with Towns and Ant's high-low action on full display.
Got it back from Towns and lays it home.
And as the game headed to halftime, the Suns had a little problem on their hands. They couldn't get offense from anyone not named KD. 61-51 was the score at halftime. At MSG, the Knicks came out swinging in the second quarter with the non-Embiid minutes.
Bogdanovich, straightaway three. Oh, the ATM is open.
It was clear that the Sixers were facing a crisis, trying to maintain their lead with Embiid on the bench. But there was a moment of worry when Hart was fouled and Maxey went down holding his knee.
Hart going down, Maxey going down, grabbing his right knee. That's not a good sign. Let's hope he's okay.
Mitchell Robinson was playing stellar defense on Embiid, causing turnovers like he was a pickpocket in a crowded subway. And on the offensive end, McBride was heating up from downtown like a microwave on high.
They get the rebound. McBride, step back three. And that's his third of the first half. Deuce.
But then, disaster struck. Embiid pulled off a powerful self-alley-hoop dunk while injuring his left knee in the process.
Embiid off the window and throws it down. But Embiid is hurting. Didn't land right and grabbing that left knee.
Meanwhile, Robinson's impressive defensive work continued. With his impressive defense, after being down by 13, the Knicks finished the quarter on fire, taking a commanding 12-point lead. Back in Denver, the Lakers entered the second quarter with one thing in mind: contain Murray at all costs. First, they tried blitzing him, but when blitzing didn't cut it, they went full-on WWE on him. AD, on the other hand, was bullying DeAndre Jordan.
Davis going at DeAndre Jordan, spinning. Beautiful touch from AD. He's got 12, matching LeBron James.
Jordan had no choice but to foul him, but just when the Lakers thought they had it in the bag,
Steal by James. 3-on-1. He'll take it himself and lay it in. He's got 14, and it's the largest lead of the game for the Lakers at 12.
the Nuggets started finding their groove. Gordon was also attacking the rim like he was late for a flight to Dunk City.
Great hands by Jokic to get the steal, and a highlight slam from Gordon. 8-0 run by Denver out of the timeout.
However, LeBron wasn't done putting on a show. He ended the quarter with a ridiculous three-pointer.
James in the front court. Hoists a three. It's good! 0.8 of a second left. James drills a three.
3 for 3 from downtown and showing no signs of slowing down. Unfortunately for the Lakers, by halftime, their lead had been cut to just 3 points. Chapter 3, the third frame. In the third quarter, the Magic stepped onto the court facing some serious offensive struggles. Paolo was out there lighting up the scoreboard, but it was looking pretty dim for the rest of the team. But as the quarter rolled on, they started to find their groove. Jonathan Isaac was playing defense like he had a PhD in blockology.
Went up strong, rejected by Isaac.
And he wasn't too shabby on the offensive end either, with the Cavs hitting an offensive roadblock with 12 straight missed three-pointers after their hot start. The Magic clawed their way back into the game, cutting the lead to just 5 points halfway through the third. But the comeback wasn't meant to be, with Mitchell answering back.
Mitchell.
By the end of the third quarter, the Cavs found their rhythm again. And just like that, their lead was back up to 15 points going into the fourth. The Suns' biggest headache going into the third quarter was how to put a lid on the Wolves' second chance points. And speaking of headaches, Edwards continued to be a thorn in the Suns' side.
Clean, spins, pivots. Off one leg, wonderful footwork.
He was like a heat-seeking missile, zeroing in on the basket with laser precision. But KD was also a force. There was nothing the Wolves could do to slow him down. His showdown with Towns continued with a shootout at high noon.
Towns for three. Bottoms!
Just been a really great. He'll step back, answers with his own triple.
And while Beal was doing his best to keep his team in the game, Booker was struggling to find his rhythm. Even when the Suns tried to run a play to get him going, the man missed a point-blank shot at the rim.
Booker high off glass, didn't get it to go.
The Wolves were on fire defensively, curbing Grayson Allen's hot three-point shooting by contesting all of his shots. And on the other end, Ant was hunting him down like a lion after its prey.
Again, gets attention every time he attacks. Here he is, pull up over Allen, off the window.
By this point, the Wolves' entire offense was running through Edwards.
Dribble handoff to Edwards. Likes going to his left, spins right. Oh man, he was in his bag like the fries were at the bottom. Edwards!
Even after the Suns started blitzing him, he was unstoppable, dropping 18 points in this quarter alone, 72-92. The Wolves found themselves up 20 going into the fourth. In New York, the Sixers luckily were able to get Embiid back. New York was up 12, and the Sixers would need him badly if they were going to make this push. Brunson was ruthless, deciding to crash the party with some three-point fireworks. And not only that, he was also aggressively attacking Embiid in the drop. But on the flip side, Lowry was causing all sorts of problems for the Knicks.
Bad pass from DiVincenzo right to Lowry. Anticipating layup is good, and the foul.
And with Embiid moving comfortably, the Sixers were firing on all cylinders. Maxi's speed continued to be an issue for the Knicks, like trying to catch a blur with your bare hands. By the end of the third, the Sixers had clawed out of their 12-point hole to take a 3-point lead heading into the final frame. In Denver, things were getting wild as the Lakers found themselves in crisis. With the Nuggets starting to gain momentum, both teams were trading buckets, but the Nuggets started bringing the heat that even the Lakers couldn't handle. Their pick-and-roll game was as smooth as butter on a hot skillet.
Pick and roll Jokic. Lobs it up there for Gordon.
And Hachimura was no match for that big bully in the paint.
Swatted. Porter got the a rejection.
The Nuggets hit the turbo button on their controllers.
Jokic ahead to Caldwell Pope, steps into a three, and the lead is up to 9.
This barrage of madness completely flipped the script on this game. To add more insult to injury, D'Lo was shooting threes like he was aiming for the moon, going 0 of 6 from beyond the arc. The Lakers entered the third up 3 and came out of it down 11. Chapter 4, the fourth frame. The Magic marched into the fourth quarter with a serious case of chuckin' threes syndrome, and it only made things worse. The Cavs' offensive onslaught continued as their lead ballooned up to 20 points.
Here comes Okoro. Okoro rumbles to the basket and lays it in, and the Cavaliers have taken a 20-point lead.
Orlando had no answers for the Cavs' defense. You could see it written all over their faces. Dejection, frustration, maybe even a hint of existential crisis. Both teams left it all out on the court.
That's what they do. They defend very, very aggressively.
Somebody's got to come help Garland here as Suggs tripped him and hit the deck. That's going to be on Suggs.
And the Magic really tried their best.
Garland, tough shot, no good. And rebounded by Suggs, he sticks it back in.
But the Cavs answered back with every punch the Magic threw.
Mitchell goes to work, looks to penetrate, floats against his body. Boy, he made that look easy, but that was a high degree of difficulty shot. Garland fires a three, he knocks it down. Darius Garland giving the Cavaliers a 97-81 lead.
The Cavs led from start to finish, clinching the victory in the first game of this series. The challenge now for the Magic will be trying to figure out how to crack the code of the Cavs' defense. Over in Minnesota, the Suns' biggest headache in the fourth quarter was still Anthony Edwards. Putting KD on him was not cutting it. The kid was like a tornado out there, wreaking havoc on the Suns' defense. The only remedy was to double team him and hope for the best.
It's time. Poke away by Gobert. Oh, the steal! Edwards, the flush!
While KD was on the bench, the Suns tried to turn to Nurkic for some offensive firepower, but the power wasn't there.
And another point-blank bucket missed inside.
Meanwhile, for the Wolves, everything was falling into place. Even Gobert's free throws were finding the bottom of the net.
You've been working on that shot, Coach. Right.
But the double teams weren't working for the Suns. Ant was making them pay by dishing it off to Alexander Walker.
Alexander Walker, boom!
They tried everything, but this guy was simply unguardable.
Pull up long range, swish!
To make matters worse, the Suns were now struggling to find their rhythm on offense. And with 3 minutes left on the clock, they decided to wave the white flag. Now the big question on everyone's minds, will the Suns have an answer to Ant in Game 2? We'll just have to wait and see. Back at MSG, the Sixers hit a stumbling block in the form of rebounding, with the Knicks absolutely dominating them on the offensive glass.
Up in the air, no, Mitchell Robinson with the tip and count it. He's been struggling. Mitchell Robinson with the rebound. Bogdanovich, step back, Jay. Rims off Hart with another rebound. And a foul.
To counter this, the Sixers decided to switch things up and play zone defense, but it ended up going sideways.
Anunoby sets for three. Bam! OG!
Previously Hart, this time OG to the left elbow.
Meanwhile, Embiid started to look a bit timid out there, getting hacked left and right like a piñata at a birthday party.
Watch him again. Watch McBride's left hand right there. That is a foul all day long.
Robinson was doing everything in his power to guard Embiid in the post. It was a battle of giants down low.
Rebound, and I mean a fight. And Robinson and Embiid will have a hell ball. What a battle between the two big men.
But just when you thought the Knicks were gaining momentum, Maxey sank a three to cut the lead to 3.
With 8 on the 24, long three-pointer. It's good! Tyrese Maxey from way downtown.
However, the Sixers' plan to dare Josh Hart to shoot started backfiring.
Cross court to Hart. Josh Hart a three-pointer. Puts it in! Josh Hart, some clutch three-pointers.
And with the clock ticking down, the Knicks fought tooth and nail until the very end, and they emerged victorious, taking Game 1. In the final frame, the Nuggets showed zero signs of slowing down.
What a move by Jamal Murray with with the lefty scoop.
LeBron was chilling on the bench, watching helplessly as his team hemorrhaged points like a leaky faucet in a drought. In a desperate attempt to contain the Jokic juggernaut, the Lakers had to bring LeBron in to guard the Joker. And with LeBron on lockdown, AD had to step up and become the Lakers' knight in shining armor.
Again going at Jokic. The fall away goes. AD up to 29. It's a 6-point game.
But the Nuggets' two-man game was smooth, precise, and totally unstoppable. And then, out of nowhere, Jokic decided to take flight. Well, sort of.
Jokic in transition. I guess that was a slam.
This game did a complete 360 from the Nuggets' reign of terror in the third quarter. And with that, the Nuggets snagged their 9th consecutive victory over the Lakers. If you end up enjoying this video, please subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind. Anyways, wherever you are in the world, be the GOAT of that moment. Stay GOATed.